Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. Right before you is a group of beautiful black women. Now, these black women look to be law abiding, very good citizens of the United States of America. Look like they're not here for trouble, they're not angry, bitter, or mad. And they don't look like angry black male bashers. But I want you to contrast this particular group with this right here. This representation that's in front of you. Because I want to bring something up to you that I got a little bit of a revelation on. But before I start, a little reminder. About 2 days ago, I did a YouTube video on B. Simone, and B. Simone's assertion that Dr. Martin Luther King had cheated on his wife. Not only that, she alluded to that he had these affairs that she herself cannot really verify or prove. In fact, no one can. So I wanted to tell you how this particular video here today came about. A poster had posted, a lot of these black women have the Mama Wada spirit. Stay away. Now, he's not talking about all black women, obviously. Neither am I. And this video will not be directed at all black women. It would only be directed at the angry set who tends to want to sully, dirty, and nullify the name of Dr. King. They somehow want to bring him down. They want to be in cahoots with the evil, racist man who started this campaign in the first place. Now, I have noticed this. It tends to be angry black women who have a vendetta against black men who want to believe these rumors about Martin Luther King. These women, it seems to me, get on the internet perpetrating these lies, these rumors, these myths about Dr. Martin Luther King because they are angry at black men. Now, let me say this again. These women here represent a minority of black women. They're not the majority. However, here's the problem. It is this small minority of angry black women who are keeping this thing alive, who are keeping this rumor, these accusations, these lies alive. Now, I want to go on to you and present to you the man who brought him forward. This is David Garrow. He did an autobiography about Dr. Martin Luther King that won a Pulitzer Prize. Okay. And basically, he's the one who brought the dumped FBI files or documents forward. He tried to shop them around. A lot of the big magazines, The Guardian, The Atlantic, The Washington Post, and many other conservative news outlets rejected them. And the reason why they rejected them, because they could not verify the accuracy. They were questioning the legitimacy of these particular King documents. This is the reason why black people, we need to be very careful about what we believe. We need to do study and do research before we start mouthing off about things in which we do not know about. Now, basically, apparently, people who believe this stuff are unaware of the FBI secretly recorded King in a years-long effort to discredit him. The tapes themselves remain under seal in the U.S. National Archives. And Garrow, the man I just showed you, by the way, article was rejected by more prominent news outlets. So the story carried many unanswered questions about the accuracy of the FBI material. By the way, another reason why David Garrow's memos in regarding the FBI was rejected is because they're just that. They're memos. And there are summaries. Basically, they are summaries and memos of recordings that he himself has never heard. So basically, the FBI did a summary of recordings that we cannot even verify if they even exist. Supposedly, they are going to be available for the public, I believe, in June 30th of 2027. That's when they will make them available to the public. So up until then, no one has heard them. Basically, it's just written summaries of these recordings, which is very sketchy. And people need to be very careful about believing what the FBI has written. Because the FBI, back then, when they did a 13-year surveillance of Martin Luther King, was under J. Edgar Hoover, who was a raging racist. And their duty was to discredit, disrupt, destroy. FBI records acquired by the library reveals violent surveillance of black leaders, civil rights organizations. The women who are making these claims, like B. Simone and only the angry set of black women, they're carrying the work of this demon right here. This demon right here who wouldn't even like them, who wouldn't like their parents nor their children. But they're making assertions that somehow it's true on documents that no one has seen. When I say no one has seen, people have not even heard these tapes. So basically, they have these written summaries or memos based upon the tapes that people do not even know if they even exist. So that gives me, I'm going to question that. I'm just not going to believe something that the FBI has written down as fact. Basically, they supposedly has written statements down of witnesses who came forward, taken their statements and written it down, but the names are very sketchy. Many of them remain anonymous sources that cannot be verified. So basically, we are just supposed to take the FBI's word verbatim, like it's out of the mouth of God, knowing that this racist right here who hated black people, he hated King, he hated leaders of the civil rights movement, basically spread misinformation about all of them. Martin Luther King and his wife had an open relationship. They even tried to say that Coretta Scott King had an affair, but with no proof. I don't really understand black people who should know their history, who are so angry at black men that they want to believe a racist man over his wife. His wife, as I detailed in my last video, My Love, My Life, My Legacy, stated that she had a gut feeling that King was always faithful. She did not believe the accusations. But yet, these angry black women who are so angry at black men, it's almost like they're jealous. They're jealous that there's not a female version of Dr. Martin Luther King. And they're so angry at black men that they want to tear down the most prominent known black civil rights leader, who helped them, by the way. He helped them gain access that they wouldn't have today. He wasn't just marching, speaking, teaching, protesting for black men. He was doing it for black people, which included them. But they are so angry at black men that they are willing to tear a dead civil rights leader's legacy down. For what? Because they've been rejected by black men? Because they had bad experiences in their life? Because I guess many of them are not at the top of the cream of the crop, whereas they're wanted by a lot of black men. Maybe they have baby daddies who left them. A lot of times it's a bad decision that these women have made. But many times you can trace this back to them being very angry with black men. And it's almost like they want to shit on people who have nothing to do with their suffering. And by the way, with the suffering too, they love to spout protect black women. Well, this is Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter, Bernice King. She's a black woman. Do you want to protect her? What about her feelings and emotions? Do they count? This is Dr. Martin Luther King's oldest sister, Christine King Ferris, 94 years old. She's still alive. Do you want to protect her? You talk about protecting black women. Isn't she a black woman? She's still alive at 94. What about her feelings and emotions? This is the reason why people need to be very careful with their bitterness and anger. It can blind them and make them very irrational. And, when you look at things like this right here she is, still alive and well. God bless you, Christine. There are so many other black men to talk about, to throw accusations at, and it will be worthy. Because many of these bums right here are not doing the black community any good. Why not throw criticism to where it should be thrown at? There are many black men out there who are doing no good, but yet you want to somehow spit on the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King with accusations that you know nothing about. And let me tell you guys one thing. This is not a cover-up. If there was true accusations out there, if there was substantial evidence, undeniable evidence, I wouldn't make this video. Why? There would be no need for it. But the problem that I'm having is that this stuff right here that David Garrow has published, it wouldn't hold up in a court of law. It would be rejected. The Guardian, The Atlantic, The Washington Post, many other conservative news outlets, they were correct in rejecting hearsay. Basically, they heard no tapes. All the writings that the FBI have are supposedly from tapes in which they heard. David Garrow has confessed that he has not heard the tapes, any of them. He's basing it upon memos and summaries that the FBI wrote from those tapes. If that's not sketchy enough, I don't know what is. I don't know what to tell you. If you're going to sit right there and believe something that flimsy, then God help you. Really. It shows me that you're not really caring about the truth. That you are not concerned with history being accurate. That you have some type of vendetta to make this man and other black men look bad. There's no proof that King has ever committed any adultery, as far as I'm concerned. There's no pictures. No woman has come forward. No one has even written a book. I'm talking about the females who he allegedly had these affairs with. Over 40, and there were prostitutes, and there were orgies, and no one has taken an advantage to write a book of a first-hand account. And that's extremely important, what I just said, a first-hand account. And one of the stories allege that King performed oral sex, ate a woman's box in the 1960s. I'm going to cast doubt on that because in the 1960s, black men hardly, if ever, did that type of a sex act. That would have been considered something perverse and almost like degrading for, in that particular time period in the 60s. It's almost like back then, black women didn't give head. So to get right there and make that claim, it's kind of like unnatural sex acts. That's what it would have been considered back then. So it was farther done or put out there to degrade someone's character or to humiliate them farther. So no, I don't buy any of this junk out there. And it's really a shame that some of us are just so damn angry that we're just willing to believe this stuff and to go along with it because we have issues within ourselves. Issues that we're still dealing with. And we have been trained and taught to hate people who look like us, who look like our brothers, our fathers. But yet we want to take it out or innocent people many a times who have and who had nothing to do with our predicament that we're in. People, we need help. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of